Good day everyone, we are Group 1 and today we will present about gas exchange, a life-sustaining process in animals and plants. Gas exchange is a very important biological process that allows living organisms to survive. Without it, cells would not be able to produce energy. In this presentation, we will explain what gas exchange is, how it happens in animals, how it happens in plants, and the similarities and differences between them. Gas exchange is the process by which organisms obtain oxygen and remove carbon dioxide. This process is essential for survival because it supports cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is how cells produce energy from food. Oxygen is needed for this process, while carbon dioxide is produced as a waste product. Both animals and plants perform gas exchange, but they use different structures and methods depending on their needs and environment.
Gas exchange involves the intake of oxygen from the environment and the release of carbon dioxide as waste. It is required for cellular respiration and is necessary for energy production and survival. Without oxygen, cells cannot efficiently produce energy. At the same time, carbon dioxide must be removed because too much of it can be harmful. This balance of oxygen intake and carbon dioxide removal keeps organisms alive and functioning properly. Animals use gas exchange mainly to support cellular respiration. Oxygen is taken in to produce energy, and carbon dioxide is released as waste. The structure animals use for gas exchange depend on their environment. For example, animals that live on land use lungs, while aquatic animals use gills. Regardless of the structure, the main goal is the same: to deliver oxygen to cells and remove carbon dioxide efficiently.
So after learning that land animals use lungs, let's now take a closer look at how lungs actually work. So lungs are used by mammals, birds, reptiles, and adult amphibians. Air enters through the nose or mouth, then travels down the trachea into the bronchi. From there, it reaches the tiny air sacs called alveoli. So these alveoli are extremely small but very numerous, and they are surrounded by the tiny blood vessels called capillaries. So this is the most important part of the process because this is where the oxygen and carbon dioxide are actually exchanged between the air and the blood. Oxygen diffuses into the bloodstream while carbon dioxide diffuses out to be exhaled. While lungs are adapted for the life on land, aquatic animals use a different structure called gills. Gills are used by the fish and many aquatic animals because these animals live in water. They cannot rely on the air for oxygen and instead obtain oxygen that is dissolved in water. They have a large surface area that allows efficient gas exchange. As water passes over the gills, oxygen dissolved in the water diffuses into the bloodstreams. At the same time, carbon dioxide diffuses from the blood into the water. This process allows aquatic animals to obtain the oxygen they need from their watery environment.
Insects use a tracheal system for gas exchange. Air enters through small openings in their bodies called spiracles. So the air then moves through tubes called trachea. Oxygen reaches the tissues directly by diffusion without needing a circulatory system to transport it. So carbon dioxide diffuses out the same way. This system allows insects to efficiently exchange gases despite their small size. Plants do not have lungs or gills, but they still need gas exchange for photosynthesis and respiration. During photosynthesis, plants use carbon dioxide to produce food and release oxygen. Then during respiration, they use oxygen to release energy and produce carbon dioxide as waste. So unlike animals, plants rely entirely on diffusion for gas movement and do not have complex pumping organs.
Plants use specialized structures for gas exchange. Stomata are tiny pores mostly found on the underside of leaves. They open and close to control gas exchange. Lenticels are small openings found in woody stems that allow gases to move in and out. Root hairs absorb oxygen from air spaces in the soil for respiration. These structures increase surface area and allow efficient diffusion of gases. Both animals and plants use diffusion to move gases. Both need oxygen for respiration and both release carbon dioxide as waste. However, there are differences. Animals perform gas exchange mainly for respiration and use complex organs like lungs and gills. Plants perform gas exchange for both respiration and photosynthesis and use simpler structures like stomata and lenticels. These differences show how organisms adapt to their environment while performing the same life-sustaining process.
In conclusion, gas exchange is a life-sustaining process that is essential for both animals and plants. It allows organisms to obtain oxygen and remove carbon dioxide, which supports cellular respiration and energy production. Animals use specialized organs such as lungs, gills, and tracheal systems depending on their environment. Plants, on the other hand, use structures like stomata, lenticels, and root hairs to exchange gases. Although they use different structures and methods, both animals and plants rely on diffusion to move gases. Despite their differences, they share the same goal: to maintain life through efficient gas exchange.